And today we have a guest who's come from Bombay. His name is Dr. Dhananjay Gunde, and he's an orthopedic surgeon and also a yoga therapy consultant at the Bombay Hospital. And he has some very good answers and therapy to what we go through every day, day-to-day life stress as well, and hypertension through yoga therapy. Dr. Gunde, it's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you.
I believe you're just visiting the United States and you'll be flying back to India in a couple of days as well. And you have your own yoga workshop as well, which is GJG Yoga Academy, plus of course you are a yoga therapy consultant in the Bombay Hospital. Tell us first of all, why is yoga so important, and what is yoga? Let's begin with that.
Well, this word yoga is used in a different references. The basic meaning of the word yoga means to join, and join in such a way that it produces harmony. Now when it comes as a therapy, what it joins and where it creates harmony, where it is needed. So what we call as I or self, we must be very clear. Normally we get identified either with the name or only with the appearance of a person, and this appearance is of the body. So our identity with self, or if you can try to answer who am I say I am Dr. Gunde looking like this.
Right.
Now this is not a wrong answer, but it's a part of it. The real meaning of this word is given in yoga, which says Sharirendriya Sattvatma Sanyogaha Ayuhu Uchyate. What does it mean? It is a union between body, sense organs, mind and the soul. And if there is harmony between these four things, harmony is health. And if there is anywhere imbalance in between these four things, that is called as disharmony, and disharmony is disease.
Right. Now, of course, that's what they say, disease is when you're not at ease.
Not at ease, correct.
And now, how do you apply yoga as therapy?
Very good question. Now, let us try to understand the basic meaning of the word therapy. If anything is abnormal or wrong, to make abnormal normal is therapy.
Right, right.
So when anything becomes abnormal, you get a disease.
Right.
Now in modern days, the diseases have not gone. Some types of diseases have diminished and another type of diseases are cropping up. In the initial stage of this century, the problems of disease were mainly germ oriented, epidemic diseases, infectious diseases, and that means the cause was outside, or accidents for that matter. Now here lot of researches took place. We could find out the relationship between the germ and body and disease, and we could fight out these germs by doing so many measures like personal health, public health, vaccinations, or producing potent medicines in the form of antibiotics or chemotherapeutic drugs, and could prevent the disease. Not so much that certain names disease have disappeared, but of late the diseases that are now prevalent, they are not germ based. We call this a non-germ based disease, which includes these problems like hypertension, especially ischemic heart diseases, diabetes, colitis, ulcerative colitis, spondylitis, obesity for that matter. Obesity is as such disease as such. Now we have no germs of hypertension or ischemic heart disease or all these diseases, but still they are diseases. And now it has been found that stress is a major part of all these diseases.
And how does it affect our body? We know that, when somebody says, I'm stressed out, I'm burnt out, I don't think we fully understand what we're saying at that point, because I think the body really goes through a lot of
yes, you are right.
Problems.
You see, the word stress is used too much loose. As such, majority of the people don't understand exactly what is stress. If they understand what is exactly between as stress, it is very easy to avoid. For example, as it has happened in germ-oriented diseases, we came to know that germ causes disease. So all the measures are taken to avoid germs. If I am asked to drink water, I ask, is it safe water? Suppose there is a very poor fellow, hungry, and somebody says, you drink this dirty water and I will give you some $50 or so. Will he drink? He won't drink. Even if he is poor, even if he is hungry, he will say, if I drink this dirty water, I will get disease and I will die. What is the use of this money to me?
True.
So, one thing is sure, if we know that a particular thing causes disease, we should avoid it, and we are avoiding it. Now, not knowing what is exactly meant by stress and how it takes place, we are trying to cling it. I will explain you.
Right.
Now, stress is not any object like a germ or so. It is a particular state of body and mind. Now, state of body and mind develops as a result of reaction. Now, something happens in you or around you, and you react to that. These reactions are of three types. Now, suppose something happens which you like or which you are expecting. Suppose your son is appearing for examination and you wanted him to pass with flying marks and rank, and he scores very good marks and flies. You are so happy because a thing has happened as per your wish, and then you react.
Right.
And that reaction is objectively assessed by seeing your pulse, watching your breathing, checking your blood pressure and your mental condition. Your pulse, whenever you react, when a thing happens according to yours, it is very steady. Your breathing is very smooth and rhythmic. Your blood pressure is always normal to whatever normal blood pressure you have. And mentally you are so at ease. Your attitude is of positive nature. And then you says, hello, how are you? There is a smile on your face. If somebody comes and asks some help from you, you are ready to give.
Right.
But if a thing happens against your wish or doesn't happen as you wished, then also you react.
True.
Suppose instead of passing your son in a flying colors and getting a rank, he fails. Then you say, how's that he failed? I did so much for him. I had done so many tuitions. I gave him this assistant and that. I spent thousands of dollars on him and still he failed. That means you are not ready to accept the reality that he has failed. And in not accepting that reality, the way you react, you produce a reaction. And that causes increased pulse rate. Breathing gets disturbed. Your blood pressure increases. And that time mentally you are not at ease. That reaction we call as a negative reaction.
Right.
That time somebody asks you help, you say no, go. Now this reaction is stress reaction. Now what is the stress? It is a state of body mind which you develop when a reality has happened and you are not ready to accept it just because you don't like it or it has happened again. Now man is a thinking animal.
Right.
Every moment to moment he is thinking, this should happen, this should not happen, this should happen, this should not happen, and hardly a thing happens as he wish, but majority of the time happens against what he wish, and he is continuously developing tension.
Right. That's what they say. You got to be more proactive than reactive,
Yes,
and
exactly.
self-referral
Yes,
and object
these are
referral.
technical names.
Yeah.
But not knowing this, they are innovating. Now, a lot of research has been done. What exactly the stress does on you?
Right.
These are very gross representation. Experiment was done some 50 years back in India when they wanted to know how yoga can be made popularized. In modern age, you cannot put this subject in a old fashion. It has to be put scientifically.
Right.
And you must show the cause and effect result immediately.
Right.
So a student was selected. He was taken to a laboratory. He was given a barium meal to drink. And he was in a normal attitude. So he drank the barium meal and his x-rays were taken of the stomach. The stomach showed normal appearance like a bloated balloon, which is a normal shape. Then while he was coming out, he was accused of so many things, false accusations. But the boy was not knowing that it is false accusation. And he says, you are a thief, you did such mischiefs, and you are driven out of this ashrama. That got so much scared. Initially he got angry, but he got scared. And when he got scared, he was trembling and he was looking pale and he was sweating here and there. He was feeling dry in his mouth. Suddenly he was taken again inside. He was made to drink barium meal again. And what a surprise. Within 5 minutes, his stomach, which was normally looking like a balloon, had become like a lead pipe. Now when he got angry, when he became nervous, when you become angry, when you are a little stronger.
Right.
When you become nervous, when you feel you are a weaker. But effect of anger and fear is same on the physiology.
Right, so your adrenal glands have to work overtime
Yes.
also.
And but actual effect, what happened? The stomach made a spastic contraction.
Right.
Then he was explained, this was all false, it is not like this, and he was supported. He was given water to drink, and he was assured.
Relieved, yeah.
After 10 minutes X-ray was taken, the stomach started dilating. And after doing Shavasana, the stomach came to normal appearance. Now on silly reasons we go on getting angry or become nervous, not knowing that we convert our stomach from a balloon to pipe.
Right.
Now all such occasions, body has got tolerance. To some extent it tolerates. But when these reactions become so strong and go beyond your tolerance, then you develop stress. Now that disease, now this reaction, which reaction should be done, positive or negative or neutral, who decides? It is the mind.
Right.
So unless we change our attitude in doing our reactions, that is correct our mind,
Right.
we cannot avoid stress.
Right.
Now mind is not an organ, so that a medicine cannot act on it. Kidney is an organ. If there is something wrong in kidney, you can give medicine and you can cure the disease of kidney. If something is wrong on knee joint, it is an organ, you can act. But mind is not an organ. So how to act on this? And there came this Indian science of yoga.
Right.
The basic aim of yoga, it says, chitta vritti nirodha yogaha. The mind which has got this habit of all the while getting involved in if and but, these are called as vrittis, attitudes. Cessation of those activities or controlling these activities is called yoga, which is popularly known in India as Ashtanga Yoga. That is eightfold system of yoga, which comprises how you should behave in the society, how you should lead your own life in a private level, and how you should develop your body resistance so that you can avoid so many diseases, and ultimately how you should control your mind.
Right.
And these are called as yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. This is a total, and this is to be supported by proper diet
Right.
and not indulge in a thing which we know can produce disease, which we are nowadays call risk factors.
That's right. I'm going to go into the pranayama part and the meditation which
Yes,
you're
yes.
going to demonstrate.
Yes.
But let me take our first few callers, and then I'm going to ask you to demonstrate the minimum
Yes.
essential 4 steps you talked about pranayama, the
Yes.
different types, and we'll go for that after the first call. Let's take calls here. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. You have given a very good discussion, but I would like to know, does stress or tension cause any kind of heart disease?
Mm.
Yes.
Does stress cause heart disease? Yes.
Yes, yes. You see, there are various types of heart disease. Some are due to some external reasons, but nowadays what we commonly call as a heart disease is ischemic heart disease, where there is a reduction of blood supply to the heart because of blocking of the coronary arteries.
Right.
That affects the blood pressure too, right?
Yes. Now blood pressure may be one of the causes of that,
Mm.
or without blood pressure also you can have coronary ischemic heart diseases.
True.
Now if there is associated blood pressure, then the risk factor still increases.
Mm.
Now it has been shown that this blocking of coronaries, which is mainly due to the deposition of cholesterol on the walls, is primarily due to stress. Now all this lining of the blood vessels, what we call as endothelium, they secrete a particular secretion called as endothelial derived relaxation factor, which help to expand that blood vessel as and when needed. Now all these linings are continuously changing. Nothing is constant in body. All body cells are continuously changing. But rate of destruction and rate of reformation of cell is in a balance.
Mm.
Now if anything that interferes with rate of reformation of cells leaves raw area, and one of the reasons that is well known is aging, and second reason is stress, third reason is nicotine and caffeine. So if a person indulges too much in stress, I mean nicotine and caffeine, and cannot manage his stress, then there is no reformation of the cells, areas remain raw, and there this cholesterol deposits.
What about like people that are fat and chubby? Don't they have like a greater chance of creating like heart problems rather
Yeah,
than?
like obesity and
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, they have got cholesterol content, definitely. All animal source food is full of cholesterol.
True.
So that is why, but cholesterol per se is not the only thing. There has to be associated stress. Diet remaining same, cholesterol levels changes. In this same country, America, they have done an experiment. The diets remaining same, they took the blood cholesterol every month of all the chartered accountants continuously for a couple of years. And they found in March, April, May, their cholesterol levels increases. Diet remaining same, cholesterol level increases of exam going students.
Well, what kind of foods have like high cholesterol, like cheese and milk and
Yeah,
all
Yes,
that?
dairy
the
and
cream of
animal.
milk, cheese, then yellow of the egg,
Right.
then all
Right.
red meat, then certain varieties of all shellfish.
Right.
They have got highest, and even in your, to some extent, these chocolates,
Yeah.
they have also got cholesterol, pro-cholesterol
But like you
elements.
mentioned, if there's stress, and even if you're eating maybe a vegetarian diet,
Yes.
which is low in fat,
Yes.
you may still get
That
high
is why
cholesterol.
even people taking no risk diet, they can also get heart attack.
Right.
Because if stress is not controlled, then this, of course the diet has to be controlled, nicotine has to be removed, that is tobacco, and in this country I may like to suggest caffeine also is one of the
Sure.
big problem, and all your cola drinks contain caffeine.
Okay, my
So-
last question, what kind of food do you suggest? Because basically if you look at the list, you can eliminate everything one by one.
So you have
No,
nothing
there
else.
is there is a lot of things to eat.
Yeah.
You see, mainly
Like
we
chicken and stuff like that?
no. You see, as a yoga person, I would
mentioned
like
before.
I won't advocate any non-vegetarian food. In yoga, we advocate food for two things, both for body and mind. So, considering this thing, we call a person should eat sattvic ahara. That is, which is conducive for health of the body and health of the mind also, which should not create passion and agitation inside. So, considering that, we give maximum importance what you can eat raw, like raw vegetables, salads, fresh fruits.
What if you have a stomach disorder after that? You know, a lot of people can't digest raw food.
You see, they can digest provided they eat slow, chew it well. They should not gulp and eat fast, eat in a proper atmosphere. Unfortunately, what is happening, lot of people I saw here eating on roads, eating, chewing and running and like that. You see, as I told you, your mental status immediately affects your stomach. So if you are under tension and eating, the stomach, which should be normal like a balloon, is already going into a pipe-like thing. How can you digest that food?
No, like they say, you know, khao piyo ash karo, you know. That's why people, a lot of them, you know, they eat.
So what we say, when you are eating and doing nothing. So have silence, what we call as mauna. Chew it well, as if that you are drinking the solids and chewing the liquids.
Right.
Means what? You should chew your food so much so that your saliva should get mixed with so much so that you are as if it is ultimately drinking.
I see.
Now this will not cause indigestion or digestion problem also. Those who gulp the food, eat very fast,
Right.
they develop all these problems. Now I am...
So you like raw vegetables like
fresh
carrots,
carrots,
celery,
salads,
radish, daikon,
yes,
yeah.
whichever are available in those countries.
And the ones that you can cook, you don't have to fry.
Yes. So what we can say, what you can eat raw, don't boil or bake. What needs to be boiled or baked, like wheat products or rice products, don't fry. And as far as possible, avoid fried things. This ultimately takes care of that. Then avoid food which have high cholesterol content
right.
as far as possible.
Mhm.
And
Would you recommend dairy products?
dairy products, not creams.
No, I mean not cream. I'm talking of
Defatted,
skim
yes.
milk and everything.
Yes, yes, that has to be a must. In yoga, we consider milk as a one of the very important aspect of
But
food.
they say that milk causes a lot of allergies too.
You see, every food that way produces allergy, 1 in 1 million or 1 in 10 lakh. That doesn't mean the others should not eat. Those who find allergy in those, they should avoid. For them, there are other alternatives. But how many people produce allergy? Very little.
And what about tea in moderation? Is that okay?
Yes, tea, coffee to some extent. You see, it has been estimated if you consume more than 35 milligrams of tea or caffeine in the body, then that is harmful.
That's
But
like
a
over
cup of tea,
8-9 cups.
a
yeah.
cup of tea hardly has 5 to 7 milligrams of caffeine. I mean, sorry, not 35, 300 milligrams. So, a cup or 2 cups of tea. And you know, coffee contains 3 times more
That's
caffeine.
right, right. Let's take our next caller. Hello, you're on the air. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Okay, I have a question regarding, I have a stomach increase actually, big stomach actually. I want to reduce the stomach actually. And then it has happened in last 2 years. So what is the yoga asana you suggest for that?
You see, yogic postures which we teach, they are not taught as exercises or to trim your body. It is the ultimate effect. Yoga is not exercises. If your main job, main problem is reducing the girth of your abdominal wall, this gentleman will need more exercises. Yogic postures definitely will help to tone up. But the yogic postures, the way we ask you to do is, it is a relaxation technique, active relaxation technique. While doing yoga, you don't consume more calories. On the contrary, we save calories. That is why after doing yoga, a person is very fresh.
Right.
So, the whole idea of yoga is not to make anybody 32, 22, 32 like
But for
that.
this particular
But-
gentleman.
But this particular gentleman needs dieting also, and then exercise also. The whole problem
Is
is,
there any particular asana that you would recommend for him?
no, there is general course where 2-leg raising asana is there, but just doing that one asana is not going to reduce system.
Okay, any exercise? If you suggest an exercise
Yes.
for that?
You see,
Running?
even you can, if you are not that overweight, you can go for brisk walking, you can go, anyway you have to burn your fat.
Right.
And dieting means fat control,
Yeah,
not
but
diet
I
control.
cannot fast actually, that's the problem.
You did not fast, you can consume food with high fiber. You can eat half a kilo of carrots every day. They will not increase calories, but your stomach will be filled.
Yeah.
If you start eating 200 grams of fresh salad, untreated,
That's like you mean more fiber in your
yes,
body, yeah.
without increasing calories, you get a sense of
But
satisfaction.
he wants like spot reducing, particular parts of the body has to be reduced.
You
Then
see,
go-
there is never a particular spot reduction as far as I know. Whatever is claimed is, well, I don't want to say anything. It is the selective fat never gets reduced. It is the fat content of the body will reduce.
Right, right. Okay, thank you for your
Okay,
call.
thanks.
Hello, you're on the air. Hello? Hello, you're on the air. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to know, so you talk about the stress and the, a lot of problems kind of related to stress. I just would like to know what we could do, like an allergic kind of condition, like in this country, allergy is like a main problem here.
As I was talking to you.
And, sometimes if the doctor can find any antigen, they will say, oh, it's a vasomotor rhinitis condition. So would you say something about that?
Yes.
How could we control that problem?
Now, allergies can affect different parts of the body,
You
but
were
the common
mentioning about it
allergies which I
before.
saw
Right,
here
yeah.
is mainly your ear, nose, throat.
Mm.
As he just mentioned,
And red eyes, wheezing,
yes,
coughing,
yes.
yeah.
Now this, to a great extent, yoga can help, because basic effect of yoga is to improve your immunity by acting at neuromusculo-glandular axis. Glandular means the action is mainly of all yogic procedure is on endocrine glands.
Right.
And as you know, when a person suffers very much of allergy, when he is having so much, and when even anti-allergic drugs are not working, he is given cortisone.
Right.
Now cortisone is normally produced also in the body.
Right.
Now this natural production of cortisone is stimulated by yogic procedures on one way. Especially practicing pranayam helps to bring lot of allergies under control, and there are certain cleansing processes which are advocated in yoga. They are called as shuddhi kriyas, cleansing processes. And upper tracts like nose, there is called as neti kriya, wherein we advise a person to take a lukewarm water with normal saline content and pass through
The
one
nostril.
nostril and bring it through other nostril. Now this helps to improve the local immunity of the organ. Because you are passing warm water, it helps to improve the circulation, and if there is any collection inside, that helps to get washed out. As we wash teeth, there are certain areas our approaches are not proper. So this helps, and these procedures are so easy to learn that within couple of sittings you can learn. Then further there is a procedure called as Sutra Neti.
Right.
This catheter, rubber
Yeah.
small catheter is passed. The descriptions look horrible, but procedures are very simple. You have to pass from one nostril, get it out of the throat, and as you clean the tongue, you can clean the back side of the nose. Now this reduces the incidence of allergens which are there.
Right.
They go. And there are associated, let's say, asthma. Asthma is also having allergic element. Then we teach them Vaman, that is drinking water, lukewarm water,
and then taking it out.
taking it out. Or sometimes even we make them swallow a very thin muslin cloth.
Right.
Now, idea is not local wash. When the water goes there, they stimulate the nerves there. And these nerve stimulations improve the circulation, and that mainly helps this.
Now, what if
yes.
you can do this, these yogas,
Pardon?
the one that you're talking about, the
Netis.
passing, the netis, yeah.
Shuddhi
But
Kriya.
you can do some asanas instead.
No, asanas.
I know they won't have that optimal effect.
Because if he's having actually a running nose and allergy, then this couple of sittings can give him immediate relief. Asanas will work slowly by helping him to improve his general body resistance.
Right.
And pranayamas.
What about
they
for
also-
pollen? A lot of people have pollen allergies, especially
No,
during this time.
You see, what type of allergy is there, that we don't bother. Only method is to improve your immunity. So whether it is pollen allergy or yeast allergy or food allergy or this allergy, you go on doing this and improve your immunity, it will work on all. Because yoga science, it doesn't work on this disease and that disease. It is not, as a yoga therapist, pure yoga therapist, he is not bothered what disease you are suffering from. He says there is imbalance in you and your immunity has gone low. So there is no different yoga for different diseases. All yogas, 90% effect is common, that is to improve your immunity.
Right. And through netis, first of all.
These are Shuddhi Kriyas to be helped with asana, pranayam, meditation and all. And all these allergies also, they become more if you are under stress.
Right.
Because basically stress brings down your immunity.
True.
So we do not treat anything with one thing. That is why you call total holistic approach. So you come for anything. You will be given lessons in asanas, you will be given in lessons in pranayama, you will be taught what is meditation and practice it, you will be given correct diet, and in addition, if necessary, we will give this cleansing processes and all these processes.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, you're on the air. Hello. Hello, you're on ITV Live.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, miss. I have one question. I have my daughter, 17 years old, and she is very fat. She tried her best to reduce her weight, but she could not. I don't know why she is gaining every year 10 pound, 20 pound weight.
Oh.
And she is going on exercise also on the health cleaning club, but no effect is there. In the childhood, she is very slim. We take some medicine from the doctor. I don't know, some hormones problem she has, or suggest us something for her.
Well, it is very difficult to suggest like that, but there must be some cause. In spite of dieting and taking less.
Is it malabsorption of food?
Or there is some hormonal imbalance, definitely. So yoga can indirectly work. You see, it has been said, she has to do sincerely. Yoga can help her in two ways. One is, it will improve her mental power to accept the reality. Suppose she has to diet. The common problem of those people who do dieting, for few days they do very sincerely. Then they get tired and again they start eating. So they again come back to the original position. So why they do so? Because mentally they are not strong.
Yeah.
So to have that restraint, okay, I am not eating means I am not eating, and then she won't miss it. That is how they say, the effect of yoga first is vapuhu krushatvam. Vapu means body, krushatva means proportionate. It helps to make a person proportionate. Vadane prasannata, it makes it gives a pleasant appearance on your face, so your aging process is delayed and you look younger to your age. Nayane sunirmale, it improves the quality of your vision. Arogata, it removes all diseases. Nada sputhatvam, it makes your sound melodious. That doesn't mean that you become a singer's voice or so, but your feelings while talking are so nice. There is a tone of appreciation. You always talk good about others. When you become so positive, then people, even your voice is hoarse, they feel like listening you. Bindu Jay, it potentiates all your energies. Agni Deepanam, you get very good appetite. That doesn't mean that you have to eat. Even if you are fatty, you can eat lot of salads. Salads do not increase weight. Fruit eating doesn't increase weight. I'm not saying
But
fruit
fruit
juices.
eating is bad
But
because there's too much
she
of
doesn't
sugar.
eat too much.
No, you see, this idea of too much and less is all relative. What you think too much may be according to me very much, and what you may be thinking less, according to me it may be more.
Right.
So it is more than quantity, what type of food you eat. For example, 100 gram of ice cream will give you 600 calories,
Calories, yeah.
while 100 grams of carrot will give you only 14 or
calories.
15 calories. So what type of food we eat? By chance you eat, suppose you drink a cola bottle, you easily consume 110 calories, and those calories directly go and
And
deposit.
16 spoons of sugar in it.
Directly it goes and gets deposited, because there's nothing to be digested in that.
But you mentioned fruits, but a lot of fruits have a, it gives you a head rush because there's a lot of sugar in the fruit.
No, that sugar is, you see, fruit contains lot of water. So 100 gram of fruits, any fruit has no calories more than 60 to 65,
And what about
except some
mangoes?
pulpis. Yes, that's what. That is why banana, mango, and chickus, what we call, they have got little. They go up to 75, 80 calories. But say oranges or these things, grapefruits, apples, they're all between 40 to 50. Even grapes, when the grapes become dry, जिसको आप किशमिश कहते हैं, they become high caloric. But routine grapes, they have got only 40 to 50 calories. So nobody eats more than 200 to 300 grams fruits.
Right.
So how much calories you are consuming? Nothing. So that way, see, the yoga will definitely indirectly help, and she will need more of pranayam than asanas, and she will need more of meditation than pranayam, because mental strength has to be increased.
Right.
To accept the reality, work hard for what she needs, and get investigated. There must be some primary cause for this increasing. There may be hereditary element, endocrine problem.
I
That
mean the
has to be
genetic
taken.
disposition
Yes,
to this. Okay.
yes, that is the main cause.
We have to check up her hormones also.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Because-
thank you.
Okay.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes.
I have a question. What's the yogic cure for arthritis, and another one is bronchitis?
Okay, arthritis, bronchitis, these are general names. First, one will have to pinpoint what type of arthritis is it. It's a local, say, due to aging, what we say called osteoarthritis. Now, if mechanical changes have already taken place, we can give limited help. But if the mechanical changes are not there much, depending on which joint is involved, there are specific yogic postures also that they help. As far as bronchitis is concerned, again what it is due to. Suppose he is a smoker and he has got smoker's bronchitis. The real treatment is that he first should stop smoking. So if all those cares are taken, then this pranayam is definitely going to help him for bronchitis. If it is upper tract bronchitis, say, then addition to this some cleansing processes like Vamana.
Right.
So in all bronchitis cases, in all asthma cases, we advocate Vaman. Many times they are associated with these allergies of ENT, that is ear, nose, throat problem. Then they are also given cleansing processes additional.
Right.
So bronchitis is very easily tackled in yoga with the help of Shuddhi Kriyas, pranayamas, and there are certain asanas like Sarvangasanas, Bhujangasanas, and like that.
So you mean that nasal thing you're talking about, sutra?
Even if they cannot do Sutra Neti, Jal Neti is very simple. If you have got things or Sutra, you have, of course,
Like
it
a
is better to
teapot.
learn like a teapot. It is better to learn under some people, because when I teach people, many people feel the water will go into the brain and all that. So all these inhibitions we have to take out. And first what we do on ourselves. So the fear is gone.
Right.
Just like if you want to teach somebody swimming, first you go into the water. So that is the problem. Many people are not ready to take yoga therapy because they have to do it yourself.
Right.
No, I mean, this country, like, you have too much of coughing and cold and sneezing due to, like, pollen and energy. That's a very common problem with most of the people. That's exactly what are the
That is
food
why I
habits?
said that condition is going to remain like that. That you can't change. You have to improve your own immunity,
Yeah.
and that is the
Like,
this is
which means you
procedure.
can't control your environment, you have to control your own immune
Yes.
system.
How can you control the
Basically.
whole atmosphere?
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Before I take my next call, as I promised, we're going to be talking to Dr. Gunde about the pranayama. You're going to demonstrate to us the
Yes.
breathing techniques.
Yes, well, there are some misconception of pranayam. First, within couple of minutes, I would like to remove.
Right.
Majority of the people feel pranayam is to take more oxygen.
Mm.
It is a fallacy.
Right.
You do not take more oxygen during pranayam.
Mhm.
But actually what you are doing, what we are aiming in pranayam is to improve our breathing capacity.
Right.
So the first aim of pranayam is to improve breathing capacity.
Yeah.
Second aim is mind control. You know, yoga knows that there is direct relationship between breath and mind.
Right.
They are the mirror images of each other,
Mhm.
as if they are two ends of one stick.
Right.
So if you control one stick end, the other sticks get automatically controlled.
Right.
So in pranayam, because we are controlling breath in a specific way
Mhm.
with specific intention,
Right.
automatically the mind also gets controlled.
Right.
The third reason is, in pranayam, you see there are two phases, inhalation and exhalation.
Uh-huh.
Now inhalation and exhalation are such phenomenons
Mhm.
that now it was quite investigated long back,
Right.
and now it has been again proved by modern medicine also,
Right.
modern physiological investigations also,
Mhm.
that inhalation is connected in our body with sympathetic system,
Mhm.
and exhalation is controlled by parasympathetic system.
Right.
The job of sympathetic system is like a car accelerator in a car, and the job of parasympathetic is like a brake in a car. Now what happens in stress, accelerator is being pushed too much and brake is weak. So naturally accidents takes place. Those accidents we can name by different diseases
Right.
like colitis, spondylitis, diabetes, hypertension, ischemic. Now in pranayam what is done is, all these both the phases, inhalation and exhalation to start with, they are controlled in such a way that you do to your maximum capacity
Right.
and slowly go on increasing the strength of your inhalation and exhalation.
Right.
So you are strengthening brake system
Mm.
and also accelerator system. So if brake system is improved, we can afford to push
Right.
the accelerator.
Right.
You understood?
I got it.
So in pranayam, more care is taken not only to prolong your inhalation, but much more than exhalation, to 1:2 ratio. In normal breathing, we normally breathe about 20 breaths per minute. That means we spend 3 seconds per breath, out of which 2 seconds we inhale and 1 second only we exhale. Means normally we are not trying to strengthen our breath.
Yeah.
In pranayam, we breathe to the fullest capacity. Suppose I have got a capacity to breathe 6 seconds. Then I extend my exhalation to 12 seconds.
Right.
So without weakening inhalation, I have 4 times strengthened my breath.
So my exhalation should be double the inhalation.
Yes,
Right.
that is the basis. And there is another part of breath. After inhalation, normally we take a small pause and then we start exhaling. That pause also is to be increased,
I see.
extended. But to start with, when we are using as a therapy, we do not advise practice of holding the breath. That is called as kumbhaka in our technical
Yeah.
language. So here what is done is, first is, there are varieties of pranayam. The first variety of pranayam is called as Bhasrika pranayam. Now here it has got 2 parts,
Yeah.
Kapalabhati and one Dirgha Shvasana or prolonged breathing.
Right.
In Kapalabhati what is done is forceful expulsion of breaths,
Mhm.
and inhalation is passive,
Okay.
automatically takes.
So
Like
it's
a rubber horn, if we
Okay.
pump, if you leave it, it becomes. So what is done in this is, you sit straight, that is the most important condition, not taking back rest,
Right.
and then sitting straight, we go on forceful expulsion of the breath like,
But you don't
like this.
have to care about the inhalation. The
No,
inhaling.
it becomes automatically. When you do
With the nose.
through the nose,
Through the
mouth
nose.
closed.
Wow.
So to know whether you are doing correctly or not, you keep your hand at a distance and you should get that gush of air on your hand.
Okay.
Keep the mouth closed and don't allow yourself to do. This must be steady. There should not be any changes on the face. Some people do, that should not happen.
Right.
Or you should not raise your shoulders.
Uh-huh.
So this is, and after taking 10 to 12 strokes, then take a long breath like this.
Through the nose. And you're exhaling it through one nostril.
One and that two left.
I see.
In this it is done. So strokes of brisk breaths,
Right.
that is followed by one long breath, together it is called as Bhasrika.
So you have those 12 strokes, like quick exhalation.
To start with. But as your capacity increases, you can go up to 100, 110 strokes also.
Oh, for the breathing out, you mean?
Yes,
I see.
like this.
Now, but the one that you mentioned, that you breathe in through your nose, and then you exhale through
no,
your...
that is another variety.
Yeah, right.
There are varieties. There are 8 varieties of pranayam, out of which 4 to 5 are routinely practiced.
Which is
This is the first.
Right.
Because this, when you are briskly breathing out, this cleans out all the tract. If there is anything inside phlegm, etc., it comes out.
Right.
So we always say, when you want to do Bhasrika, sit with napkin.
I see.
It is likely to come out.
I see.
Second is called as balancing pranayam. Now in pranayam, it is a part of Hatha Yoga. Ho, tha. Ho means sun.
Right.
Tha means moon.
Yeah.
And yoga means balancing. Now, yoga believes that all your body activities are due to vital energy. That is what we call as prana shakti. And this prana flows in the body, and for flow there has to be polarity, positive and negative.
Right.
This polarity is called as Ha and Tha.
Right.
Ha means Surya, Tha means Chandra,
Right.
lunar and solar energy. Ha, Surya, increases heat in the body. Tha, Chandra, reduces the heat in the body. That is why you are breathing sometimes more with left nostril, sometimes with right nostril, depending upon the need of the body of heat.
I see.
Suppose there is more heat in the body, automatically your right nostril gets blocked and you start breathing from left nostril.
To cool it off.
And the opposite way. Suppose you are too much feeling hot inside.
Right, right.
So the left nostril start functioning more and right nostril. So you have got self air conditioning system
Right,
inside.
right.
Now this was invented long back. You might have seen so many sadhus sit with dandas. Now there is relationship between this this nostril to the opposite axilla. If you press this axilla, armpit, this nostril gets released. Now this is done in this Anulom Vilom or balancing pranayam. What is done is, here you use one nostril at a time, like this. Now I am doing this hand, there is no need to do in pranayam like this. But just to make you
Right.
know that while I am doing this, I am taking, while doing this, I am releasing.
It doesn't matter which nostril you start with.
No, first you start with left nostril inhalation,
I see.
then exhale with right nostril,
Okay.
then again with whichever nostril you exhale, you inhale. That is why it is called alternate nostril breathing.
I see.
Or-
So starting off with inhaling with the left nostril.
Inhalation
So blocking
with the
the
left.
right one.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Then the third variety is called as Ujjayi, where you inhale from both the nostril but exhale only through the left nostril, like this. Now,
exhale from the left nostril?
no, exhale from the left nostril. Yes,
Okay.
right. Now, 90% of effect of all pranayama is common. That is, which helps to strengthen your neuromusculo-glandular axis, which is directly concerned with your internal homeostasis, that is immunity. Now, all these procedures are known to improve your endorphin levels, which
Right,
are an
right.
indication of your capacity to withhold pain and improve your
Tolerance, yeah.
immune health.
Right.
So, but each pranayam has got its own speciality.
So which
For
one?
example,
Right.
Kapalabhati is known to make your face shining. Kapala means forehead. Bhati, bhru means shining. So if you practice regularly Kapalabhati, your face starts shining.
And which was Kapalabhati?
This.
Oh, that one.
Now, initially when I used to read, I used to feel these are all exaggerated things.
Right.
But I am a doctor.
Right.
So when I studied the anatomy of this, I realized that when you are forcing expulsions, the pressure, air pressure increases in the back of the nose.
Right.
And back of the nose, the side walls, all the sinuses open.
Yeah.
So the air leaks into these sinuses.
Right.
So if the sinus walls are blocked, they are removed. And so the mucous membrane inside the lining of sinus also gets stimulated.
Right.
So naturally any stimulation improves circulation. So all sinus problems disappear. This
But
go on
you-
reducing.
But you said like with
I
those
mean-
strokes.
I mean coming to
Okay,
that point.
Right.
Now, fortunately, the nerve supply of the mucous membrane of the sinuses and of the face and the muscles is same facial nerve. So automatically there is reflex stimulation of these muscles. So you get better circulation of face.
Right.
And better circulation means shining. Now, I don't know whether you go or not. Many of you go to beauticians.
Right.
And they steam your face, isn't
Right,
it?
exactly.
What is the idea of steaming? Improving
the
circulation.
pores.
They call it opening the pores. It is not that. Improving the circulation.
Right.
But external stimulus gives temporary
Right,
effect,
exactly.
but internal stimulus gives prolonged effect. So it removes the wrinkles on the face and improves the circulation. That is why you look younger. I'm sure you are going to do it more from tomorrow.
But do you put a lot of pressure when you exhale?
Yes, that's why this is one procedure where it has to be done forcibly, like. And the other meaning of bhati is bellow.
Right.
Bellow, you know, blacksmith's bellow. So
Right.
your abdominal walls act like a bellow. You see, when this happens, as if your
The
naval
pressure is coming
region.
right from the stomach
Yes,
area.
and it
Right.
comes the air out like this.
Right. And then you said after that, after 12,
Then-
15 of these,
Then you have to take one long
Right.
breath. Now long breath, you are controlling breath. That is why this is called as pranayama. But only doing this is a cleansing process.
So long breath and then exhaling from which nostril?
Left nostril.
Always the left.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I told you an alternate nostril.
Yes. Again,
That-
starting with the left.
But with left you are inhaling. in,
That time you were exhaling.
uh-huh.
Right.
Now this second variety is supposed to be better for hypertensive people, high blood
I
pressure.
see.
This is balancing.
Mm.
Whenever there is imbalance, stress problems. Third is Shitali, Ujjayi. What I said is inhalation from both, exhaling from left nostril. This is good for ENT problems and asthma. Fourth is Shitali, where
How
we-
many times you do that?
every variety 5 minutes.
Okay.
With taking rest in between. You should not feel breathless. Fourth variety is Shitali, where you make use of tongue, like a
Right.
beak of a crow. You bring your tongue out and inhale by mouth.
Now you inhaled with your tongue out
With tongue out, making a beak-like appearance, like a pipe,
and then exhaling through the nose?
usual.
Okay.
But some people cannot fold this tongue.
Yeah.
About 10 to 15% of people,
Yeah.
you can. But some of cannot. Their tongue is just remains like that. For them, there is a procedure called a sitkari, where you keep teeth over the teeth with a slight space and do like this. Now this is known to produce cooling effect,
I see.
and this is known to be very good for those who suffer from
Heat stroke.
hyperacidity.
Oh, okay.
So this is meant for. But those who have got running nose and all that, they should not do Shitali Sitkari.
Mm.
And lastly is Brahmari, which we teach. is you inhale as usual, and while exhaling you produce a sound in the throat, maybe with saying Om or just like that. I will show you two, one with Om and one without Om.
Okay, now what exactly did you do?
Now,
You inhaled
while
it.
exhaling, I was producing sound.
Right, right. Well, with your mouth closed.
Mouth closed.
Right.
The air is, exhalation is
the
through
nose.
nose only.
Right.
Never exhalation by mouth. Inhalation you can do if necessary, but exhalation has to be essentially through
So
the
you
nose.
inhale through the nose, but exhale while with your mouth
Yes.
closed, you make the
Yes.
sound. Okay. Now, what is this good for?
Now this produces vibrations.
Hmm.
You see, sound, basic
Right.
principle of physics, when it's sound vibrations, whenever they pass through any matter, they produce the same vibration in that matter. The first matter the sound come across is our own body.
Right.
So throughout our body, these vibrations are produced. If you want to feel, just keep these two fingers and do what I did just now. You do like this. Put in the ears.
Mm-hmm.
The vibrations you will feel touch. All those who are viewing, they can try this.
Right. Yeah, I
you
can hear
feel-
myself, yeah.
Now, here you did a special efforts to know, but same is happening everywhere.
Right.
Now, this is known to relax your nerve endings, and then you get a very good relaxation effect. And then, this is to be followed always by Shavasana. Now, Shavasana is supposed to be king of asanas. It is supposed to give fantastic relaxation, and that relaxation gives you freshness.
You can sit on the chair and do it as well.
No,
You have to lie
Shavasana.
down. You have to
इसका
lie down like a dead
definition
body.
ही है, उत्तानम शववत भूमौ शयनम.
Like a
You have to
corpse.
take a supine position and you make an appearance, action like a dead body,
Dead body,
and bhumau on land, on jameen par. Shayanam, tachhavasanam. What is the effect? Shrantaharam. It takes away all the tiredness.
Right.
Chitta vishranti karakam, gives rest to the mind. Tadasanam shavasana.
So, but as you mentioned, always the inhaling is through the nose and exhaling also through the nose. Unless there's a problem, you exhale through the mouth.
Only in that variety, one variety, that
Right.
is Shitali,
Right.
cooling effect,
Right. Right.
or Sitkari, where we make use of teeth.
Yeah. Now, in yoga asanas, how does the breathing go? Inhaling is
No, in Yogasanas we never control breath.
Oh, so it's
Breath only you watch, if necessary,
but it's always inhaling, exhaling through the nose.
as your routine. You
Mouth or
don't-
nose?
No, nose.
Always the nose.
Never mouth. In Yogasanas, breath control is not there. It is only in pranayama.
But you inhale and exhale through the nose.
Yes, as
Never the
usual.
mouth.
Never in mouth.
Okay. We have very little time, but I'm going to take very quickly some calls here. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I wanted to ask him, can you recommend something for, an eye exercise? Because I have weak eyes and
Okay,
my
the
number,
vision.
it continually, it's going up, and
Yes.
is there something you can recommend?
Immediately I can tell you one thing. You can have a burning candle or agarbatti.
And
Keep
stare at
about
it.
6 feet distance at your eye level and just observe without blinking that point, bright point,
The flame, you mean?
the flame or that burning point.
Okay.
Flame may move,
Okay.
but agarbatti, what is scented stick, if it is lighted, it goes on burning and you just watch that point. This will help you both in mental concentration and improving the eyesight. Secondly, if you practice all yogasanas, there are automatic exercise to the eyes. For example, in Bhujangasanas, you are made to look up. In Vakrasanas, you are made to look to the sides. So, care is taken of eyes. And third, which I can tell you quickly, is called as palming the eyes. Just warm your hands make a hollow of your hand
Cup it.
and just press the brim of your eyes. That is known to relax your eye muscles and remove the tiredness. But all yogasanas, especially Kapalbhati, which we did, that is known to improve eyesight.
Right.
Then certain asanas like Bhujangasana, Vakrasan, this is what I told you just now, staring to a point called as Strataka. These are the things that can definitely help.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
One last caller. Hello, you're in the air.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I want to ask a question. Can you recommend anything for any exercise for the person who has diabetes?
For the what?
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Oh yes, you see,
Because my father is like stressed. He's always stressed.
so the best exercise for him will be a brisk walk every day regularly, 30 to 40 minutes with a speed of, if he is not having other problems, 10 to 12 minutes per kilometer. Now we talk in kilometers, here it is miles.
Right.
Say you can convert it. So that is best exercise. And out of yoga, pranayam is best for diabetes, but he should not practice more Kapalbhati. He should practice other varieties.
What's pranayam?
Just I
Which we did just
demonstrated
now, the breathing.
breathing
breathing.
types.
Breathing
But
And
technique.
meditation is very essential, and then few asanas,
Right.
because stress has to be controlled, and stress is maximum controlled by meditation. Second is pranayam, third is asanas.
So it goes the other way around.
Yes,
Right.
because meditation is we call is science of controlling mind.
Right, exactly. Thank you.
Meditation we define in a very simple way. It is attention without tension.
Like
is
when
meditation.
he's all stressed up, the sugar, it goes very low.
Yes.
So, you
Is
know,
hypoglycemic or what? Okay.
No, no,
Sugar is
they-
low, she said. Okay.
If sugar goes low, then there is no procedure other than taking immediately something to bring it normal.
Like fruit or something.
But if he starts practicing yoga,
Right.
slowly that tendency of going low will reduce.
Right.
Because it is a system of normalizing.
Right,
Remember,
balancing it out.
in yoga, the same yoga is for hypertension, high blood pressure and low blood pressure.
Right, right.
If hypoglycemia, same yoga. Hyperglycemia, same yoga.
Right.
Because it is system of making abnormal normal.
Right.
Higher is also abnormal, lower is also normal.
is there any reason for this, for the stress? I don't know if
Well,
I
we
don't know.
just
If,
talked
we'll
about
have to
it.
interview him directly.
Stress, it could be
Just I
anything
defined, you know,
else, yeah.
if he is not accepting the realities, he is going to develop reactions.
I think the idea is not to even think about symptoms, go to the root and
Yes,
you know,
yes, that
fight
is
it
all.
out. That's
We
basic.
always say, don't wipe out the leaked water, plug the
Fix
leak
root,
in the sink.
yeah. Okay, that was our last caller. If Dr. Gunde wants to take the calls after the show, you know, we'll be more than happy to do that. Well, thank you very much. I think you taught us a whole lot today about how to get optimal health, and by balancing the body and the mind and those pranayama techniques, I think we should all incorporate them in our, because that's not going to take too long. Anyway, you can sit and do it. Is it going to be in fresh air or in the room as well? Well ventilated room, I guess.
Ideally, you should not be diverted. Your attention should not be diverted. When you are practicing yoga, your eyes are closed and your attention should be within you.
Okay.
That is why now here I am keeping eyes open, but while practicing our eyes are definitely
Is it to be in the
closed.
morning time, any
Best
time?
way is on empty stomach, early morning time.
But you can do it any time.
Anytime, but you must be on empty stomach.
In the room as well, or
Yes,
outside?
yes, there is no need to go out. On the contrary, you should do in your room.
Okay. And are you coming back again from Bombay?
Yes, I'm likely to come next year here.
Okay.
Somewhere in February, not in February,
May.
April, May.
I see.
Some executives want to have lessons of stress management. I gave
Good.
some lessons here.
Right.
Of course, I'm on just my holiday tour, but some people,
Right.
because my friends were there, said, why don't you
Right,
give the
right.
benefits?
Well, thank you
But
very
before
much.
I close, I would like to say only 2 sentences. You see, we have one life,
Mm.
and we must live it better, and there is no alternative for better health. And now our main problem is not physical health but mental health.
That's true.
And yoga is the real answer.
Absolutely.
And though it looks initially difficult, there is one saying, samadhanaya saukhyaya nirogatvaya jivane. If you want samadhan, happiness, samadhan means satisfaction, saukhyaya means happiness, nirogatvaya means health in this life, yogameva abhyaseta prajna, because all these 3 commodities you cannot purchase in supermarkets.
Right.
Yatha Shakti, as much you can.
Mm.
Only condition is put nirantaram. If you practice regularly, whatever yoga you know, do it with proper shraddha, means your faith, and you are going to have happiness, satisfaction and health. I wish all of you get. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our guest today was Dr. Dhananjay Gunde, and Dhananjay actually means Arjuna, so I guess he knows the whole Bhagavad Gita here. A yoga therapy consultant. I'm Renu Lobo. Thank you for your calls and thank you for watching.
सभी दर्शकों को नीता भसीन का नमस्कार। आज के मुख्य समाचार इस प्रकार हैं। भारत में हुए विधानसभा के उपचुनावों में 23 में से 10 सीटें कांग्रेस आई ने जीती। उड़ीसा के मुख्यमंत्री श्री जेबी पटनायक विजयी रहे। मध्य प्रदेश में पूर्व केंद्रीय मंत्री श्री अर्जुन सिंह ने नई पार्टी के दफ्तर का उद्घाटन किया। पाकिस्तान के मुहाजिर नेशनल मूवमेंट और श्री नवाज शरीफ ने प्रधानमंत्री भुट्टो को माफी मांगने को कहा। उत्तर प्रदेश के फतेहपुर जिले और दिल्ली में लगी आग में 8 व्यक्तियों की मृत्यु। लीवाइस स्ट्रॉस का पहला स्टोर बेंगलोर में। और बांग्लादेश में फैले मलेरिया ने 800 के करीब लोगों की जान ली। अब आप समाचार विस्तार से सुनिए। 27 मई को भारत के 13 राज्यों के 26 निर्वाचन क्षेत्रों में उपचुनाव हुए थे, जिनमें से 23 के नतीजे आ चुके हैं। कांग्रेस पार्टी अभी तक 10 सीटें जीत चुकी है। उड़ीसा के मुख्यमंत्री श्री जेबी पटनायक ने बगोनिया निर्वाचन क्षेत्र से अपने प्रतिद्वंदी श्री प्रसन्न कुमार पटसानी को, जो जनता दल पार्टी से हैं, करीब 23,000 वोटों से हराया। मुख्यमंत्री जेबी पटनायक, जिन्होंने पिछले चुनावों में भाग नहीं लिया था, वह अब तीसरी बार हाउस में जा रहे हैं। संविधान के अनुसार अगर किसी राज्य का मुख्यमंत्री विधानसभा सदस्य नहीं होता तो 6 महीने की अवधि के अंदर उसे विधानसभा चुनाव जीतकर सदस्य बनना होता है। श्री जेबी पटनायक ने उपचुनाव जीतकर संविधान के कानून की पूर्ति की। वेस्ट बंगाल के 3 निर्वाचन क्षेत्रों में विधानसभा उपचुनाव हुए हैं, जहां तीनों सीटें वामपंथी पार्टी ने जीती हैं। केरला के मुख्यमंत्री श्री ए.के. एंटनी भी विधानसभा उपचुनाव जीत चुके हैं। जनता दल ने 3 सीटें जीती हैं। लेफ्ट पार्टीज ने भी 3 सीटें जीती हैं। समाजवादी, तेलुगु देशम पार्टी और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की झोली में 2-2 सीटें गई हैं। कांग्रेस आई पार्टी, जो अपनी ही पार्टी में पड़ी फूट के कारण कठिन दौर से गुजर रही है, उसके लिए विधानसभा उपचुनाव एक अच्छा संकेत लेकर आए हैं। कांग्रेस पार्टी का बार बार यही कहना है कि पार्टी की फूट का आगामी लोकसभा चुनावों पर कोई असर नहीं पड़ेगा, जीत उन्हीं की होगी। भारतीय समाचार पत्र द टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया ने 9 शहरों के लोगों की कांग्रेस पार्टी के बंटवारे के बारे में राय जाननी चाहिए। समाचार पत्र का सवाल था कि क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी के बीच हुआ बंटवारा प्रधानमंत्री राव सरकार और उनके आर्थिक सुधार प्रोग्राम को खतरे में डाल सकता है। 55% लोगों का मानना है कि कांग्रेस आई पार्टी के बीच पड़ी फूट राव सरकार के लिए हानिकारक साबित हो सकती है। 52% जनता का कहना है कि पार्टी के बंटवारे का असर आर्थिक सुधार प्रक्रिया पर भी पड़ेगा। सबसे अधिक यानी 56% लोगों का मानना है कि श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी को कांग्रेस आई पार्टी के मामलों से परे रहना चाहिए। श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी अभी तक राव सरकार व अर्जुन सिंह पार्टी से खुद को अलग रखे हैं। प्रधानमंत्री राव की कार्यकारिणी समिति, असंतुष्ट नेता श्री एन डी तिवारी व श्री अर्जुन सिंह चाहते हैं कि श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी उनका साथ दें। आज इंटरव्यू में कांग्रेस आई पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेता श्री शरद पवार ने कहा कि नाजुक दौर से गुजर रही कांग्रेस आई पार्टी में एकता और स्थिरता लाने की वह कोशिश कर रहे हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि मेरी कोशिश में वह लोग शामिल नहीं हैं जिन्होंने एक अलग पार्टी बना ली है, जिन्हें विद्रोही कांग्रेसी भी कहा जा सकता है। इधर मध्य प्रदेश में नई पार्टी के दफ्तर का उद्घाटन करते हुए श्री अर्जुन सिंह ने हमला प्रधानमंत्री राव पर किया। उन्होंने पार्टी में पड़ी फूट का जिम्मेदार प्रधानमंत्री राव को ठहराया। श्री अर्जुन सिंह ने कहा कि प्रधानमंत्री राव ने पार्टी के बीच एकता व स्थिरता को बनाए रखने में कभी कोई रुचि नहीं दिखाई। उन्होंने दफ्तर में अपनी कुर्सी को संभाले रखने में ही रुचि दिखाई है। श्री सिंह ने कहा कि श्री एन डी तिवारी को